Hey everybody, it's Never, and I'm here in the jumping puzzle capital of the world, the Super Adventure Box. And today I'm going to talk about jumping and some movement in Guild Wars 2, things I've learned over the years that may help you in doing content like this. The first thing I want to go over is how jumping in Guild Wars is a little different than it is in some other games. For example, if you grew up like I did playing Mario games, then you may be familiar with the fact that the longer you hold down the jump button, the higher Mario jumps, and therefore the farther he can go because he can do more distance from a greater altitude. Guild Wars 2 does not work that way. To demonstrate this, imagine this is our jump line. We're going to jump right on this line right here. The first time, I'm just going to hold the button down the whole way, and you'll see that I went about 4 planks. This time, I'm just tapping it, and look at that. I go 4 planks again. Same thing is true for height. If I just tap the button, then my feet get up to about here. If I mash it down, same thing. It doesn't matter how long I hold the button. The reason this is important is if you ever have been doing a jumping puzzle or trying to get up somewhere where you have a glider you can use, you may, if you hold the button down, accidentally deploy your glider and overshoot the thing you're trying to land on. This can be very frustrating, and the way to fix it is to just get into the habit of only tapping the jump button, because it's going to be the same jump no matter what you do. So just tap it and you'll never accidentally deploy your glider. This also makes timing the jumps a little easier because you don't need to think about holding it down for the duration and then letting it go and immediately pushing the button again to do another jump. You simply tap when you need to, and it's very easy to set up for your next jump. The next thing I want to talk about is motion. This is where we do have control over our jumps. You'll see that in the same 4-plank jump, if I stop moving forward in the middle of the jump, I will immediately just fall straight down. This is because you can change your direction or stop moving altogether during a jump. It doesn't change how high the jump gets, but it does change how far you travel. If you're holding forward the whole time, you'll travel the maximum distance of a jump. But if you stop that at any point, you just fall straight down. Another thing you can do is jump and then push forward. This can be very helpful if you just want to make tiny incremental jumps onto something for whatever reason. If you've got just a little ledge or a tiny little gap, jump first and then push forward, and you'll typically do about half of the length of a normal jump. If we go back here to our 4-plank measurement, if I jump and then push forward, I land a little past halfway, and that's just based on the timing of when I push forward. So by timing and changing when you actually move forward or backward or sideways or whatever you do, you can greatly affect how your jumps go, and that's really where your control is going to be. The next thing is that you can actually not just change your momentum in midair, but you can also change direction, which is insanity. But we don't care about physics here. We just want to get jumping puzzles done. So you can actually jump around a corner. I can jump out here and turn in midair and land over there, because just like in Skyrim, when you jump, you will be able to change direction and and maintain momentum in midair, which is pretty amazing. You can also do some crazy stuff like jump out over this ledge and then move back if you're quick enough. So if you find that you're accidentally about to jump off of something, you can just quickly steer yourself back. You got to be a little quicker than that, though. I almost fell off and died. The next thing is a dodge jump. You've probably heard of this, or if you use something like the Tekkit guides in Blish HUD or Guild Wars 2 Taco, you may have noticed that the regular jump logos on the path are just a boot with a little impact thing around it. There's another one that you may have seen, which looks like kind of a guy doing an anime run with his arms behind him, and that means that you're intended to use a dodge jump, and that is where on the same frame you push both dodge and jump. Now this is tricky because they have to be very, very tight in their timing. And this is actually the only macro that the ArenaNet devs have said is totally okay to make. So you can bind a key fully legally with the terms of service to dodge and jump together in one key to make this operation easier, because there are places in the game it is intended that you will use it. What I do is I just have two buttons on my mouse that are adjacent, and I mash them both with my thumb, and I'm pretty good at mashing them at the same time. Not perfect, but good enough. So however that works for you, this is what it does. You get the height of a jump, but you get the extra acceleration from a dodge, because dodging is a little bit faster than running. And so if we do them together, you'll see that that was about a 5-plank jump and then a tiny bit of a step at the end. And so this is what you use to get across extra long gaps. It's a tricky thing to do at first, but after you find a way that you can comfortably execute it, it is not a big deal, and you can do this all the time. And it looks really cool. The last thing I want to talk about is a wall jump. Now, this isn't a wall hack. That's actually a different thing, and that's where you use an overlay to be able to see through the wall and see enemy positions or other information in competitive play, and that's really not okay. Never do that. This is not a wall hack, it is a wall jump. And this is where you're using something with how the physics works in the game to your advantage. And you may have done it on accident before, especially on ledges. Sometimes if you push jump right at the same time that you impact a ledge with sufficient speed, you can get another jump off. And exactly how this works, I'm not going to really get into it, but I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like. It's not something I can do very easily, but I can do it often enough that it works. And so this is a really good place to practice it. Normally, we would have to go fight that ninja, push a block over here, and then jump on the block, and then jump on the trampoline because it's too tall and I can't get up this. There's nothing to stand on that I can actually stand on in-game. But we can wall jump up it. And so you want to use the red line as your jump timing mark. And if you jump right then, and then at the same frame that you impact the wall, you push jump again, you can get an extra jump and get a little higher. If you're doing it a little too soon, then you'll find that you do a jump that isn't really high enough. And if you do it too late, then you just don't really get anything at all. And so this is a place to practice that, and it can be used to skip some really big sections of certain maps. But it is something that's tricky. I jump, and then as soon as I touch the wall, I'm just mashing my jump button again so I can make sure and get it at exactly the right time. That time I did it too soon. I'll get another one here and see if we can do it, because it is a really precise timing on the game. Now, I'm not sure if it's a matter of geometry or if it's as much a matter of timing, but if it is a matter of timing and it's frame based, you may have an easier time if you lock the game's frame rate to something like 30 frames per second, which may give you a longer amount of time to interact with it. But there you go. That's what it looks like when you do it right. And so this is a tricky trick, but it's useful because now I don't have to fight that ninja or anything, and I can hop up here. So those are the general tips and tricks for jumping, and it's taken me a long time to learn them all and get somewhat good at them. I hope this helps you not to have to spend as much time on it as I have. Okay, thanks, bye.